Hey, this is Emmanuel from WP Companion, and today I'm excited to show version 1.02 of our WooCommerce Scotia Ecom Plus Payment Gateway plugin. I'm assuming that you've already purchased the plugin, so I'm going to start by showing the settings screen after the plugin has been installed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the back end of my test WordPress website here. I'm going to go to plugins, and you'll see that I've already installed the WooCommerce Scotiabank Payment Gateway plugin. And to access the settings, I can either hit this settings link right here, or I can go to WooCommerce settings, and I can then navigate to the payment settings area of WooCommerce. So I'm just going to click this tab, and once you install our plugin, you'll notice that there is an additional gateway that you can now access, which is the Scotiabank gateway. So here it is, Scotia Ecom Plus. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just click this button to finish the setup. Alright, as you can see, we have our settings page here. I'm just going to go through the options quickly so you get a feel for how this thing works and how easy it is to set up. So you have your enable/disable button here. You just click that to enable the gateway. You have your title and description fields, and this shows on the front end of your website right before the customer chooses to pay with your gateway. So you could define this to be whatever you want. I just have it as something simple like pay with credit and debit cards, and then I have a description here that says click the button below to load the payment form, and you'll see why I did this on the front end in a little bit. You have some instructions here that can be added to your order thank you page. Something along the lines of, let's say you want to inform the customer that they have to wait 3 to 5 working days for delivery, or anything of the sort, any sort of notice that you want to give the customer on the order thank you page. You can put that here. Here you can enable logging, and this is useful when you're in sandbox mode. If you're having any trouble with your transactions, you can turn on this logging, and you can access the log at this location on your server. And the last few settings are really simple. Here we just enable or disable sandbox mode, and you'll see that when we enable it, the text sort of changes. When we disable it, the text changes, right? So when you first set up your account, Scotia will give you sandbox credentials, and that's what we're going to look at today. So I'm just going to check this box and enter my sandbox credentials. Alright, then I'm going to click save, and that's it. You see, it was really simple. Oh, I forgot to enable the gateway. Let me just enable the gateway and save one more time, and then we're done. It's really simple to set up this plugin initially, and once this has saved, we're going to move over to the front end of my test website, and I'll show you what that does in terms of setting up a new gateway. So let me just go to my shop. Alright, and I'm going to go through a regular purchase flow here. So I'm just going to add a product to my cart. I'm going to view my cart, and everything is okay here. I'm going to proceed to checkout. And I'm logged into my test website, so I've already filled in all my billing information. But what you'll notice here is that we have that same title that we looked at on the back end, as well as that same description. It says click the button below to load the payment form, and then it just says test mode enabled. And this will go away once you come out of sandbox mode. Alright, so let me just hit the button to say pay with Scotiabank. And you'll see that the page refreshes, and then it scrolls directly to the payment area, and it loads the Scotiabank payment form onto your website. So if we scroll up a little bit, you'll notice we're still on the checkout page, and we've embedded Scotia's payment form onto the website. So I'm just gonna go through the process, and I'm gonna use one of Scotia's test credit cards here. Alright, so the card number, let me just, alright, and I'm just going to use a random name. And at the time of recording, all Scotia's test credit cards have an expiration date of the 12th, 2025. And I'm just going to do 123 for the card code. And I'm going to click continue. And that's it. You're going to see that the order has been received, and this is the thank you page. And let's just look at how the order looks on the back end of the website. Alright, so you're going to see that we have a new order, and if I click that order, we can take a look at some of the details of the order, and this would be details that are particularly helpful to the merchant for an order. So you're going to see your regular order screen here, but for the plugin, we've added a couple we've added some of the metadata of the order to the order notes, right? So you're going to see the approval code, the 3D secure response code, the reference number, and so on, the card number and the order ID. And we've also saved this information in the WordPress database. So what that allows you to do is use this information anywhere you want, right? So if you want to include this information in your order confirmation emails, for example, you can do so, because the order, it's saved as order metadata in the database. So you have access to all of these, and you can use them however you see fit. It should be noted that Scotiabank requires you to add a couple of some of this information to your order confirmation emails, like the transaction date, time, the card number, as well as the approval code. And if you need help with that, I'm happy to provide you with the snippets to add this code to your thank you emails. All right. So that's the path of success when doing an order. Let's just check out quickly the path of failure, because there is the chance that the customer may have entered, let's say an incorrect CVV or an invalid card number, or whatever is the case, they may have entered something incorrectly and the order would have failed. And I just want to show what happens in that scenario in terms of how our plugin deals with that, right? So I'm just going to view the card once more. I'm going to proceed to checkout as before. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these cards that Scotia has here that's going to decline or simulate a decline, and I'm going to go through the same process here. Alright, yep, it's loading, and let me just confirm that it's a Visa card. Yes, it is. So Visa, this card number, same name as before, same expiration date as before, and I'm going to click continue. And you'll see here that we get the standard order failed message that WooCommerce generates. So you get this message, and you also usually get 2 links that allow the customer to either try to make a payment for the order again or go to their account. Before I click any of these, let me just show you what happens on the back end when an order fails. And here what we've tried to do is we've tried to provide as much information as possible to the merchant so that they can troubleshoot the transaction either with the customer or with the bank or with Scotia Bank itself. Alright, so if you look at your order notes array now, you're going to see a lot more information, right? So we've essentially saved the entire response from Scotia's platform here. So you have access to the bin, the time zone, the fail code, order ID, country, you know, every single thing that their system responds back. Approval code says declined and so on. You have all this information here that you can now either call the bank or you can call the customer and troubleshoot. Again, we've saved this information in the database, so you can add it to your order failed emails if you'd like. Again, Scotia requires that you provide the card number, the approval code, and the transaction date time. They don't really require anything else, and I would actually recommend that you don't include anything else in the emails in case somebody is trying fraud on your website. You don't want to give them too many clues as to what might be going wrong with the card that they're trying to use. So again, you have access to all this data and you can use it however you see fit to assist with troubleshooting any failed transactions on your website. Just to show you what happens when you click the pay link or the my account link, if you click pay, it's going to carry you straight to the payment page. So it carries you straight to an order payment page, and the process is really the same as on the checkout page. It just shows a summary of the order, and again the same button that loads your payment form. If you click the my account page, it's going to carry the customer to their account, and from there they can navigate to their orders and they will see that they have a pending order, right? So for example, if I click orders here, you will see that they have a failed order right here, and they have the option to click this pay button, which again carries them to this order payment page. Lastly, before we finish things up with this video, let's just take a look at Scotiabank's platform that you'll have access to once you sign up for their service. And I just want to show you how the transaction looks on their system. So let's just go to reports, and I'm going to go to transactions. And then let's just look at the transactions for today. And you're going to see we have 2, right? If you notice, it takes the order number from our platform, our WordPress platform here. We have 193 and 192. If I'm not mistaken, 192 was the successful order. And you're going to see we have the approval code here. And 193 was the failed order. And you see we have the decline code here. All right. And Scotia's platform, you can click the order number and see some additional details, and you can do things like refund the order and so on, or void the transaction and so on. And when you sign up with Scotia, they'll give you a full rundown of how their platform works, and you should be quite familiar with it by the time you've set up this plugin. Alright, with that said, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to go through this video with me, and for your interest in our Scotia Ecom plus WooCommerce plugin. Till next time, take care.